of all, be in solidarity and support with Michael Brown's family and the gentleman Eric in New York. Do we support them?
Yes!
This is R.Paige Smith with TribTV. I'm here with Pastor Derrick Johnson in Wilmington, Delaware. Today, Pastor Johnson has assembled a team of community members that are commemorating the incident in Ferguson, Missouri. Pastor Johnson, tell us today, what are you trying to achieve with the march today?
Well, we have a three-pronged reasoning for why we're doing what we're doing. The first being to stand in solidarity with the African-American community across the country. Second being to express support for the Michael Brown family and the wife of the gentleman that was killed in New York. And third, to challenge the process here in the city of Wilmington as it relates to police and their relationship with the African-American community, which is poor just like all over the country. And we do have specific incidents here in Delaware that weren't prosecuted by the police, where the perpetuators were white cops, and the process did the same thing. So it's definitely a problem for us. So we're just here to say here in Wilmington, Delaware, that we have the problem and we're tired as well.
Now, what are some of the specific incidents that have occurred here in the city of Wilmington where the parallels that you speak of, some of the folks here can relate to?
Right, there was a young man who was killed while sitting in his car, shot by police through the back window, and the police said that it looked like he was going for something.
How long ago was that?
That was about a year ago.
About a year ago. What do you think is needed in terms of bridging the gap? There seems to be a divide between the position that police officers take versus the position that folks have in the community. What's needed to try to correct this problem here in Wilmington and other situations around the country like Ferguson?
Well, trust is a necessary component of any relationship, be it a marriage or a community and a police department. Right. And the black community nationally and locally, we have no trust. And so when a party is not trusted, it's incumbent upon the party who's not trusted to demonstrate trustworthiness. It's not incumbent on us to just give you trust, because the fact that we're calling it trust means you've already violated our confidence and faith. So I believe the police departments across the nation, and that the president has taken a good first step in putting the onus where it belongs, which is on the people who are not trusted.
All right, so we here at TribTV, we're going to follow the march today, and we're going to follow with Pastor Derrick Johnson. We're also going to speak to some folks in the crowd and get their perspective. This is a major, major challenge and a major issue affecting communities like Wilmington, Delaware, throughout the country. So we'll see today if the goals that you have planned for this march and the statement that you want to make for the community and impress upon the city of Wilmington, if that story and if that chapter begins today.
Stop! I can't breathe! Stop! I can't breathe! Stop! I can't breathe! Stop! I can't breathe! Stop! I can't breathe!
Well, we want everyone to know that Wilmington and Delaware is in support of the injustice that we're dealing with across the country. And it's not just there, but we've got our own issues in terms of high incarceration rates and health disparities. And we want people to come out and say, you know, enough is enough. We want, you know, justice for our people, for black as well as brown-skinned people.
Okay, now many people don't hear of a lot of the events that are happening here in Wilmington. So why don't you enlighten us? When you talk about the relationship that the community has with the police here, describe that for me.
Well, it's getting a little better, but not fast enough and not enough. We understand that the police are trying to do their job to protect us, but at the same time, there are some who really just kind of target us, you know, and assume. I mean, across the country, people of color are assumed to be violent, you know, which is not necessarily the case. And I think that the police here, to some extent, recognize that they need to do better community policing, that this is about a we as opposed to, you know, them being against us. But we still need more legislation as well. It's not just about law enforcement. It's all of the law enforcement departments that really need to take a look at how things are run, and then, you know, understand that we do matter. We are people that matter. Our lives are important. everywhere, and so, you know, they need to step back and work with us as opposed to against us.
We are sick and tired. We are mothers and daughters and aunts and grandmothers whose children are being murdered in the city of Wilmington and all over the city. I'm originally a native New Yorker, and I cannot stomach the fact that where are the men? Where are our men, and what are they doing? If you look out here and look out into this crowd, you will see mostly women. We need our men to stand behind us and back us up. We are sick and tired. We are sick and tired, and we're angry. But what we're going to do, we're going to keep this in prayer, and we're going to bring everybody, Muslim, Christians, Jews, everybody together to unite to stop this violence in our city, and pray and pray and pray. And that's the only thing that we can do to keep our families together.
Stop! I can't breathe! Stop! I can't breathe! Stop! I can't breathe! Stop! I can't breathe! Stop! I can't breathe!
The unjust that happened in Ferguson, to hear a grown man say that he was afraid of a teenager, okay, a grown man who's a police officer who had a weapon on his side, and for him to state that he was afraid of what would happen to him, that's truly unjust. It seems like it's sort of like an open season for a large African-American black man. I am an African-American black man who has size, and so for a police officer to say they're afraid of someone like me, that concerns me a lot, and that's why I'm out today.
Why do you think the police are taking this position where they're looking at an African American? We hear stereotypes all the time about, you know, brothers walking down the street, people cross the street. What's going on with that relationship? Why does that fear factor exist, in your opinion?
That fear factor has been around for years. Why it's been around? Because they're being taught that. They're being taught to be afraid of an African American man. That is a very unfair thing, but they're being taught that. They're being taught that at these academies, to be afraid of men, and that's not fair.
Well, actually, Rage Against the Ratchet, I'm partnered with Carvin Hagens. He's a Grammy Award-winning producer, and we've taken on the challenge to combat some of the ratchet music that's being played on this radio station as we look down the street here. They're playing songs that are very vulgar and degrading to the community, which, you know, brings about thoughts and a mentality in the black community. So we're starting from there. I'm here today to support Reverend D because we all need to come together as a community to help uplift all our youth that are lost in the community. We have lost people that really don't understand what the big picture looks like. So, you know, and it takes, you know, all the leaders to come together. This is a big city. The parents aren't out here right now. The leaders of the black community aren't out here right now. I got a problem with that. You know, there's a lot of corporate buildings in this city. There's a lot of black leaders that know the things that are going on are wrong. And they need to be out here. If not, they need to have some intricate part in correcting this problem.
So as these protesters continue to demonstrate showing their support for the events in Ferguson as well as the grand jury verdict in New York, we can only hope these events ultimately will make a difference. I'm R.Paige Smith, live in Wilmington, Delaware, for Philly TribTV.